Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. Hope you guys are doing great. If you haven't been able to watch my last video, I'll link it up on top. I talk about cultural appropriation and my overall thoughts on it. So if you haven't been able to watch that, go watch it after this video. You're already here, might as well. Also, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? You're here. Just subscribe. Thank you. Social media, also link it down on the description. Go follow me there if you haven't already. I try to have a good time over there. With that being said, let's dive into it. Like I always say, anything that I say here is my opinion and my opinion alone. If you want to add to it, please comment down below. Feel free to do so. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. All three of you. But that's mainly why we're here. So, this video, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do a two-part video for this. I'll probably drop it like one after the other because it's going to be long. I want to discuss this overall hot topics of the past week. And it is more towards the entertainment business, again, because I think that largely affects our social environment in a sense. If you haven't been living under a rock, you know that Netflix has a very big issue on their hands currently because of Cuties, which I'll be discussing right now. And then the second part of the video, I'll just talk about my overall thoughts of Hollywood and their path to quote-unquote inclusion. And Mulan will be tied into that as well. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So, like I mentioned earlier, I saw the movie Cuties. I was skeptical of watching it because I have three little sisters. And even though the oldest is 19, the second is 16, I still have a sister that's hasn't even reached the age of 7. So I was like, should I watch it? Should I not? Then I was like, let me just watch it because I want to see what the hell is going on. And also I want to do this video, so here we are. I'm gonna be very honest. After watching the movie, I feel conflicted on my thoughts because when I first saw the trailer, I was taken aback like everybody else. I was like, what the hell is this? This is not a thing. This shouldn't be a thing. What are we doing? I read an article stating that Hollywood is trying to push this PEDO agenda, and it was more disturbing reading thoughts of actors and directors on the way that they view PEDO, you know the rest. And I was like, this is gonna be a bomb drop. This is gonna be terrible. What the hell is gonna happen? So I saw the movie and I was like, okay, this is disturbing. However, I can actually see both sides of it. And before you drag me, no, I am not condoning the over-sexualization of 11-year-olds. No, I'm not. That is not a thing. That should have never been a thing. It is completely, utterly stupid of them to do so. And I stand my ground on saying that probably the message would have been more effective if they had a 17, 16, 18-year-old girl being portrayed as the protagonist instead of an 11-year-old. That being said, I think my conflict comes into certain scenes within the movie that I didn't find disturbing. And I actually found that it was very much insightful on how today's generation is raised up due to social media. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the movie, although by this time I'm pretty sure that you have, and if you haven't, you're probably not going to watch it. But there was certain parts of the movie where you saw that due to the way that the protagonist Amy was brought up, she felt that she had to rebel in some sort of way. Then she had these friends, and I say friends because in all honesty, were they really her friends? I don't think so. But these other girls were very open. The way that they dressed themselves was very, very provocative. Too provocative. She saw that, and obviously she saw her family and her family's culture and overall religion belief. And I was like, okay, so I can understand her rebelling because she wants to fit in. And she was basically peer pressured into doing things because she thought that it was cool and it was the way to get in. Again, that this is me and my perception of the movie. If you thought differently, please comment down below. I'm pretty sure that the director thought differently because she is very passionate about the project and she stands her ground about it and doesn't want to apologize. I mean, props to her for being such a strong, opinionated woman. But my problem with the movie was the overall over-sexualizing of the kids. The dancing was very disturbing. It was very disturbing. I literally had a face like this throughout the whole dance. And there was this one point where these guards come in saying that they were going to call the police, and the girl was like, oh, we're dancers, and she started twerking. And one of the security guards was like, yeah, like, go. And he was really getting into it. And then the other officer was like, yo, like, what the hell? I would have been like, yo, what the hell? Taking the flashlight, beat it on his face and be like, what is wrong with you? And then call these kids' parents. Yeah, that's how bad. That's how bad the overall situation is. So those scenes for me were like, this is strong. This is something that I don't think a child should be watching. And I think that this actually opens the door for people that think that being a PEDO is all right and that it is a sexual orientation. No, there's something completely wrong with you and you need to get that checked. Like, no, we're not going to normalize that. Maps are only a way for somebody to get from one point to another. It is nothing more than that. And people that want to push for it need to really, really get themselves checked up. That conversation is not a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't even be complimenting having a conversation on that. So, with that being said, I do want to note that I understand some people's points of views that they don't see it as a very bad movie, and I'll explain why before you guys drag me. But the reason why is the last scene. I think the last scene was what made me feel conflicted on the movie, because within the movie itself, I was like, okay. And there were scenes like the dancing. There was this one scene that I think it was her uncle that was there, and he took the cell phone away from her, and she literally started stripping. An 11-year-old started stripping. And the uncle was like, what the hell? And pushed her like, what is wrong with you? So when I saw that, I'm like, this is very disturbing. Then I saw other aspects of the movie that I was like, okay, so these parts of the movie could have actually been taken off and made into a more serious movie to talk about serious issues like peer pressure and the overuse of social media when somebody is a kid. 10, 11, 12 years old. I think that is not something that we should be doing. I think kids should not be having social media within those ages, at least unsupervised social media. So all of these things came into play, but the last scene of the movie was where I was like, why did they do this? Me reading into things and me being objective as much as I can, and me being a fan to dissecting things was like, why? Because the last scene takes Amy. She runs off the dancing, goes back to her house, says sorry to her mom, and then her mom realizes, look, I think that we've been pushing you to be something that you're not, and I don't want that for you. Which does spark a conversation, which I did mention in my leave them out of this video, that I think that we should just let children be children. And then the way that she dressed was different. It wasn't as constricted or quote unquote conservative as the family wanted it to be, but it wasn't as overall sexualized and exposed like she was doing throughout the movie. Then you see her walking by her dad's second wedding. He looks at the overall scene. She walks out and she goes outside and there's kids and they're jumping rope and they're like, do you want to play? And she's like, yeah, sure. So she starts jumping, and the more she jumps, the higher she goes and the higher she goes. And you can see the expression on her face, which is she's smiling and she's having a good time. For me, it was a metaphor as of just let children be children and to not impose things on them. That was the reason as to why I feel so conflicted about the movie, because I think that that message is very powerful, as well as the whole social media thing and being unsupervised, and how this generation is so quick into wanting to grow up and don't stop to realize that every single aspect in their lives has a time and a place. And I think that that last scene was what struck me and said, damn, okay, so the movie is completely disturbing with their over-sexualizing of children. Now, my question is this something that happens on the regular? And if so, what are we doing as a society to prevent this? Because I think that there is a conversation to be had on how we teach our children to use social media and how it affects them in the way that they view life and in the way that they want to view life and how they want to through each phase of their life. I think that that last scene was what conflicted me the most. Again, I understand people going off on Netflix, rightfully doing so. I do believe that if you want to cancel Netflix for that, then you're good. You have that platform to do so. For me, I don't think I'm going to cancel it because it's just a movie in the library that I'm not going to watch again. I don't think the movie is good. I just think that the way that they went about it was not smart. I don't know if the director and Netflix wanted to get a reaction out of people, and if that's the case, then they did get a reaction and it worked. But I do believe that a lot of people are in this together into saying, no, we're not sexualizing children. We shouldn't be sexualizing children. And we need to stop this. Because these people that think that they're maps, again, maps are used to help people locate things. It's not a sexual orientation. So I do like that people are uniting together for a cause that is very much alarming. So I think that that speaks volumes, and that actually helps create a conversation. Again, I am not up for the sexualizing of children. I think that the movie could have done without it. I can't sit here and say that I don't understand both parties, because I really do. Now, the only party that I do not understand, and that I won't understand, and that I won't give light to, is the people that actually think that children should be having adult relationships. No, there's something very wrong with you, and you need to get that checked up. That being said, like, comment, share, subscribe. Go. Go. I'm not gonna end the video until you subscribe. Please subscribe. Share the video. Please share the video. It actually helps out a lot. And don't forget that this video is going to get a follow-up video. So see you in the next one. Peace.